All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode number 6 of our Williams F1 Manager 2022. This is Benjamin Bakchoy. And before we get started, today's video is brought to you once again by the good people at Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew Kickstart fuels my days and gets me going in the morning. So hopefully Mountain Dew will see this at some point and decide to sponsor the channel, because I literally buy I don't know, probably $70-$80 worth of this stuff every week. But with that out of the way, we, like I said, we are back. Episode number 6, race number 7. Last episode was our best race at Spain, where we finished P11, just barely out of the points by, I think, just about a half a second or so behind Pierre Gasly. And we are looking to further our good performances this week. I haven't taken a look at the emails yet. Going to take a look at our drivers. Looks like we can put some development points into our drivers here. I'm going to try to make everything even, so I'll add +1 to defending for Alex. Nicky, we will, oh boy, yeah, we'll have to go with braking. He ends up crashing out and going wide a whole bunch of times. And for Théo Pourchaire, we will give it to reactions just to bring that up a bit. So now Nicky is at 73, Alex is at 80, Teo is at 72. We have about $12 million left. We'll take a look at our facilities. This will cost 11. This will cost 11.5. This will cost 10. This will cost 7.5. Staff facilities. I think for staff facilities, scouting department is probably the least important one. I'm not looking to get any other drivers or engineers, technicians, or anything like that. And this is good here as well. So I think we'll be okay for now. I want to save up a little bit more money and maybe put it into our wind tunnel or suspension simulator. Actually, yeah, I think next we'll upgrade our design center just so that we can get 3 projects going at once. And then we will go from there. Let's take a look at our staff as well. We got some development points to distribute here. Once again, we want to keep everything nice and even, so we'll add to the underfloor for Francois. Head of aero, high-speed downforce. We'll go there. And David Weeder has now upgraded to a 72. Race engineer, no points. Race engineer, no points. 74, 75, 76, 70. I might swap the drivers. Oh, wait. Okay, maybe not. I won't I won't swap the drivers. You know what? Let's see if we can scout any new race engineers. We'll go by overall rating. Does any of these guys want to come? We can probably snipe Chris Cronin. He's an 80. Although Gaetan is a 77. You know what? We'll stick with everybody now for this year. Let's see, do we have anything in development? We have a rear wing and a front wing research going on right now. Okay, so we can't develop anything new at the moment. Take a look at our cars. We are, yeah, other than high speed, we are pretty much, oh, high speed, yeah, cornering and dirty air cornering, we are pretty much last or close to last in all the attributes. But that's okay. Next race is at Monaco. That's pretty much all of our front office stuff that we have to do. And we will get going. Take a look at this. Race prep. Performance targets. They want me to qualify 15th. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. All right. So let's go into the race now. Or race weekend, I should say.
Cars have been racing through Monaco's streets since 1929, and this weekend is no exception, as we get to watch the new generation of world-class drivers take over Monte Carlo. This is the Monaco Grand Prix. Monaco is famous for its many narrow twists and corners. From the brake-heavy Le Rascasse to the treacherous Sand of Ott, there are no proper straights to speak of, and it's extremely hard to overtake here. It sounds like simple advice, but getting up as high on that starting grid as possible is the best plan of attack. At this early stage in the season, there are still plenty of opportunities for things to change. In this sport, there simply are no guarantees. So, without further ado, let's get started.
Alright, so my strategy here is to try and get Alex qualified as high as possible. We'll start on, well, I guess we'll deal with practice first, but we'll use Latifi to kind of back up the rest of the cars behind him. Oh, this one's nice and easy. Alright, we'll start there. Yeah, we'll try to get Alex qualified as high as possible, and then we will use Nikki to just back everybody up. Okay, it's close to the middle. Yep, it's just FP1, so it's no biggie here. We'll get those guys going and get them out on track. So obviously, just like in real life, it'll probably be impossible to pass here, so qualifying will be very, very important.
Green now. Green now.
Alright, good. And we got a couple of laps in before there's too much traffic out on track. Once all the cars come out, if you get caught behind a slower car, well, we are the slowest car on track, but if you're stuck behind a slower car, you don't really get an indicative lap time. Look at how many people are stuck behind Stroll. He's got a heck of a train behind him. Latifi's starting to create a train now too. All right. I think I might actually switch Alex and Nikki around. Have Nikki be car number 2 and have Alex be car number 1. All right, we'll try that out. Tires, we'll go softs. Call Alex in, he's done as well. How do we look? Okay. All right, that should be okay.
And car balance feedback when capacity.
All right, let's take a look at Nikki here.
Copy.
All right, let's try that for Nikki. And Alex is done with his as well. Okay, let's try that. Can we get him out for a couple laps at least?
Radio check.
All right, well, this is post commentary as my computer crashed to the desktop and I lost the audio part, the commentary audio anyway. So here we are in qualifying now, just kind of skip through the practice sections. We did have some some unknown setup confidence there, but I think you'll see what it is at the end of qualifying here. So as you all know, Monaco is a really tight track, impossible to pass, and so I figured I'd get my guys out first, and hopefully maybe if anybody decided to come out behind Latifi would be slow enough to kind of slow them all down. But as you can see, we kind of didn't have that work out for us, as there is a huge gap behind Latifi and the next guys. But Bottas and Tsunoda coming in now on their out lap, and I think that's about it. So we didn't end up catching anybody on their quick laps. Threw on another set of softs, and I'm about to have them come back out again anyway, looking to find a gap to make sure that we ourselves aren't caught up behind any cars. But we got Latifi out in time, and unfortunately Albon kind of got caught out in the middle of a whole bunch of cars there. So Latifi starts his quick lap there. Albon starts his, but then I get stuck behind Russell coming into the chicane here. And so we do lose a little bit of time, even though Albon is still faster than Latifi. Latifi is way off the pace there. 0.6 off Albon's pace. So we do have the tires to come out for one more lap. As you see, we throw on the soft tires here. Not that it's really going to make a difference anyway, just because we were so unbelievably slow. But hopefully, again, I was hoping that if I sent my guys out early enough, hopefully Albon can get some space, and then Latifi can hold off some of the faster runners behind, and then we can kind of sneak our way in. As you can see right now, we're currently P13 in quali, and Latifi is currently P17. I'm assuming Russell, Magnussen, Ocon got caught behind slow traffic, probably my guys. So we send Albon out here first as early as possible, and then I do get Latifi fourth out of the pit lane right there. And as you can see, everybody on track is right behind Latifi. So I was hoping that he'd be slow enough at this point that he can slow some guys down, but Alex only improves by one position. Ricardo comes in and pips us right away again. Anyway, right now I'm just waiting for the last few guys to finish. We're right on the cusp, P15, only a few guys left to go, and then right at the end we get knocked out. So starting P16 and P20th in Monaco is not really good for us. I did think about strategy at first. As you can see there, we barely made it. We barely got kicked out of Q1 by just a couple of tenths there. But now going into our strategy, we did end up with 96% confidence for Alex and 86% for Latifi after not having any idea of what it would have been. Didn't realize late into practice that it is Monaco, so I probably should have just raised the wings all the way up right at the beginning to save myself some trouble, but I didn't. It just didn't occur to me, just because this is a little bit different than F122. Gonna be putting Latifi on, or putting Albon on the softs to hards, I think, or yeah, I did want to put him on hards to softs to try and give him a long first stint, but then ultimately I decided to go softs to hard to try and make up some positions. But I'm an idiot, because this is Monaco. There is no making up positions. I did do I simulated through a quick season to try and make Latifi a WDC driver. You'll probably see that out in the next week or so, as it's taken a little while to work on. But at Monaco, you need to be a lot faster. And I was a good second and a half faster than Hamilton in qualifying, and I still couldn't get by Hamilton at Monaco with the fastest car on track. So today, going into this, I kind of figured that we didn't really have a chance. But at the start, we actually make up 2 positions. I think we end up passing Stroll and Ricardo right off the start. I put the cars into push mode, or put Albon into push mode, hoping that he could maybe take that position back from Alonso, but Alonso manages to get out in front of us. This is just the replay. It doesn't really show much. You don't see anything. These replays are kind of odd. But I think I ended up jumping Stroll and Ricardo at the start there. And then Latifi, obviously, again in P20. Boy, Latifi is just, he's ranked higher than some of the young drivers, the 18, 19-year-old junior drivers, but he does not perform nearly as well as the junior drivers. Don't know what it is. Maybe it's just specific stats that don't benefit him in the race, but he's just so slow compared to everybody. I mean, I guess he is on hard compound tires as well, and everybody directly in front of him is on medium and softs, but I just assume that he would still somewhat be able to keep up. Since it's Monaco, everybody's going to be wing to wing, and I thought that Latifi would still be able to keep up just by virtue of other cars being so slow. But as you can see on track right now, that is not the case. He is much further back than every other car is at the moment. Yeah, there's a gap between him and Vettel in P19, which is kind of sad. But like I said, he is on the hard compound tires. And I feel like for this game, the compound of tires that you're on doesn't even really matter, because sometimes I will be on, you saw it in the Spain race, I was on hard compound tires and Gasly was on soft compound tires, and his tires started wearing out much quicker, and I thought that there was going to be a crossover period where I'd eventually be faster than Gasly, even though Gasly was in the faster car. But you clearly saw that once he got past me, there was no chance of me catching up. Even with ERS and DRS, I just could not keep up because there was no tire advantage there. So I think a patch came out today when I turned on my computer and booted up Steam. There was a patch with some minor fixes to the game, so hopefully that will change things a bit. I don't really know if it'll affect currently in progress careers or if it's just for new careers, but hopefully that will help fix things a bit. And as you see right now, Latifi crashes out even when he's in the back all by himself. So I tried to replace his wing, but then it turns out that his wing has terminal damage, or the car has terminal damage anyway, and I just manufactured those wings too, I believe. So he is now completely out of the race. I don't have a rear gunner. I was gonna hope to make Latifi go long and hopefully hold up some cars that ended up pitting a little bit earlier than I would, or I would with Albon, but Latifi bounces himself out of the race by lap 8, so there goes that. There goes any opportunity of possibly scoring points by using Latifi to slow down drivers, so that kind of sucks. At this point is when I started thinking I really need to replace this guy, because he's been coming in last place by far, sometimes like 40 seconds, and I'm on a one stop strategy and other cars are on 2-stop strategies, and Latifi is still finishing like 40 seconds behind P19 or P18. So this is when I started thinking about possibly replacing him. Now we're on the softs with Albon, 79%, but we have the two Alpines in front of us, and there's just really no way that I'm going to be able to pass them. I'm on softer tires, but they're a little bit more worn, and you can see as soon as the safety car comes in, we just start dropping back. The good thing, though, is that the cars behind will find it difficult to get by us as well. So right now, I'm just trying to stay as close to the front packs as possible, so that when they do start pitting, I thought the safety car would help us out here since it bunched us all back together, but it only takes like 2 or 3 laps, and the top 4 or 5 cars have already stretched out a gap to Hamilton, so really no point here. I'm just checking here again to see what time or what lap we should be pitting, lap 29. So I start going a little bit easy on the tires, not realizing that I'm going heavy on the fuel and I'm going into the red, but I'll figure that out in a second. I'm trying to go light on the tires here to conserve them as long as possible so that I can possibly go a few extra laps longer, since Stroll behind me I think is on the mediums, and he's probably going to go long as well. So I'm hoping that there are some cars directly in front of me that pit and come out behind Stroll, and by conserving my tires I'm hoping I can go a little bit longer. And as you can see, Stroll is starting to drop back a little bit at this point as well, 6 7 seconds. So I was hoping that they'd stop the pit, change their tires, come out behind Stroll, and then Stroll would hold them off for a little while longer. I'm trying to conserve the tires as long as I can. I think I was supposed to come in lap 29. Yeah, I think that's lap 29. And as you can see, our tire wear is actually above where we predicted, so, or below, depending on. It's better than what we predicted, is what I'm trying to say anyway. So I'm hoping that we can stay out long enough, but then Stroll starts kind of closing in here, and we start dropping back from, who was that? I think that was Alonso in front of us. And then Bottas and Russell pit and then come out in front of us anyway. And now we are a good 3 seconds behind Russell and falling back even more. And Stroll is now 2.5 seconds and closing on us. So any chance that we had to finish in the points is kind of out the window, because even Alonso's already pitted at this point and he's come out in front of us, 3 seconds in front of us. So at this point, I just decided to throw on the medium compound tires. I think the original plan was supposed to be softs to hards, but since I stretched the softs out so long, at this point, I think the mediums would be faster. And then we come out P16, 15 seconds behind the next driver. Vettel comes out of the pits behind us. We move up to P15, but again, at this point, there's really no chance of us winning. So Stroll is right behind us, and I think him trying to overtake us is slowing us down as well. And then I noticed everybody is on the hard compound tires, even those that pitted after me. So now I'm starting to worry that my tires won't make it till the end, but I do have a whole bunch of fuel left here. So I start burning fuel. There is a huge gap in front of me, so I might as well take advantage of all the fuel that I have left, but that didn't really last long anyway. As you can see, we're already in the red again here. And I was kind of afraid to start conserving battery, and then I thought, what's the point anyway? The next car is 17 seconds ahead of me. Even if I conserve my battery and run it, I'm not going to be closing that down anyway. The Alpines, McLarens, the Alfa Romeos are so much quicker than me, and Ricardo's already a pit stop behind Alonso anyway. So even if I do catch up to those guys, there's no way I'll be able to catch up to Alonso. And then I start thinking, whoa, how the hell did I fall 40 seconds behind Alonso? I'm pretty sure he was right in front of me when he went into the pits, but I think that's again by virtue of the leaders. Every time they pass you, they cause you to slow down by like 2 or 3 seconds. So since like 10 cars already passed me, that's like 100 seconds. Not 100 seconds, 30 seconds. So that would kind of explain how I'm so far back from Alonso. But then I don't know how these other cars passed me as well. But they also probably boxed for new tires when they were supposed to, instead of staying out on aging soft compound tires that were probably 4 or 5 laps past their useful point. So I did move up to P14. I don't remember how. I think somebody else jumped into the pits for new tires. So right now I'm just like, screw it. Why delay the inevitable? Just put it to 16x and just go till the end of the race. So this is pretty much it. Monaco is never a fun race. Not fun to watch, not fun to race in F1 22, and not really fun to manage in F1 Manager 2022 as well. This is just one of those tracks that I personally think, why is it even still on the calendar? There's literally nothing good about this track other than qualifying, and that's only about 45 minutes on a Saturday. So you spend all weekend doing 3 full practice sessions just to have qualifying, and then maybe have 2 or 3 overtakes via pit strategy on race day. I don't like this track. I wish they would have got rid of this track decades ago. I can't believe they were thinking about getting rid of Spa and then keeping Monaco. Monaco is just for rich people. I don't even know why we even bother having a race there. It's just rich people bring their yachts there and then they party all weekend pretty much. It's like the all-star weekend for the NBA. I don't know if you Europeans even know what the NBA is. I'm sure you do. There's a lot of European NBA players, but yeah, All-Star Weekend's kind of a joke. It's just for celebrities to come and have fun, and the All-Star game is just literally alley-oop passes and dunks and stuff like that all game long. It's not even worth watching. So that's how I feel about Monaco. I really wish they would get rid of this, but Yeah, here we go. I have to waste an episode recording the race at Monaco, even though I knew nothing was going to happen. Even if I had like more upgrades on the car, I probably still would have finished outside the points anyway. But here we go. We started P16, I think, moved up to P14 at some point, and then finished P15, even with our teammate DNFing. So very terrible race. Crashed off the car, lost a whole bunch of parts on Latifi's car, and then we ended up finishing P15 anyway, well off the pace. A lap behind even, 2 laps behind even. But we did move up 1 position from our starting grid, so I suppose it's a good day for Albon and a terrible day for Latifi, who crashed out on lap 7. And that finish ultimately moves us down to P15 on the driver's standings, but at least for the constructors, we are still P9 in front of the Aston Martins just because of our finishes. But still haven't scored a point yet by now with this race number 7. Still haven't scored a single point. And at this point, I'm really thinking about getting rid of Latifi. He only got 380 experience points in that race. But yeah, there you go, guys. We do have some stuff coming up in the calendar. Some facility upgrades coming up and parts upgrades, I think. But I'm not sure if we're going to get them in time for the next race. But I do apologize for losing the audio. I hope that the post commentary was good enough. But thank you guys for watching the video. Stay tuned for more. Remember to eat your bok choy. If you think I've earned it, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. And I'll see you guys at the next race at Baku.